everyone and welcome back to Prestige Reef. Today's the next step with regards to the mega build, as I am setting up the second coral tray. So at the moment only the first coral tray is up, but by the end of the day I plan to have the second one set up. I'm going to move over some Discosoma. I'm probably going to move over some of the Montipora, but it will involve me basically driving backwards and forwards to my parents' house, bringing small boxes of coral at a time. The reason I bring small boxes at a time is because there's no point in me rushing this. Like, I have all the time in the world at the moment, so I like to bring over a small box, probably only like a foot wide, with corals at a time, inspect them thoroughly, dip them, frag them if needed, and then put them in the mega build. The first thing I need to do though is that the racks from Reef Tech haven't arrived yet. Obviously when you're making 58 of them it takes a while to make them. And they're not meant to arrive until I don't think next week anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another piece of egg crate and put that in the bottom tray, and then turn the lights on, and then it's good to go for corals. Right, so the best place to start is probably here. This is coral tray 2. As you can see, I have turned the radions on, and what I'm doing is I'm going to temporarily be using this tray for soft corals and LPS. Once I have enough coral to fill both systems, this whole system, coral tray 1 and coral tray 2, will be specifically for soft corals, and then the larger system will be for SPS corals. As you can see, I've moved over some of my bounce mushrooms. So these are the uranium bounce mushrooms, as well as some green star polyps. Now this green star polyps is unusual because I don't think I've ever seen green star polyps where the polyps are so long. So when I saw it in a shop, I had to buy it immediately. Now I might just be out of date. I haven't bought soft corals in a long time, not common soft corals. But what this is giving me, this is giving me like newfound appreciation for corals, which I haven't bought in many, many years. The first thing I need to do is move some of these out of the way. As you can see, one of them has broken free, which I will put in the Discosoma pot once I've brought them over. And then I'm going to put the egg crate in there temporarily until the racks are made, which hopefully will arrive next week, but I didn't want to have to slow down what I was doing. Right, so as you can see, System 2 now has the egg crate in. This is a very, very temporary solution, because those of you who watch the channel will know that I literally hate the egg crate in System 1. It's just because the MP40's below the frags over, so I can't wait to get the locking frag racks in. I've sold quite a few corals recently, although you can't tell because I've got most of them are Euphilia, and I've got so many Euphilia. I have sold a few of the SPS pieces as well, which is nice. I also have a new tank inhabitant. There you go. This is the first fish in the mega build. He is incredibly shy. He wasn't shy in the shop. He actually seemed to be the most outgoing one. But I picked him up from Reef Aquatics in Bognor. I think because he's in here by himself all day, he's obviously pretty skittish at the moment. But he does seem to be getting more and more used to me. Please obviously feel free to leave a message in the comment section below what you think he should be named. All my fish have people names. That has always been the same right from the very, very beginning. So if you could think of a good people name for him, let me know, and obviously I'll let you know in the next video what was decided. Right, so I've just finished the first run to my parents' house, and as you can see I've grabbed all the Discosoma and a few redactors. What I've done is I've separated the majority of them so that the Discosoma and the redactors are kept separate. So redactors at the top, I've just seen one there that's moved over. The reason for this is because although they won't kill each other immediately, if you put redactors and Discosoma together for a long period of time, usually one kills the other. It's just a very, very slow process, whereas they should only be in here temporarily. It should only take them a couple of days to attach to the coral rubble, and then I can put them on frag plugs, and there. So as you can see, I've got some common ones like the watermelon there. I've got some Superman, although they don't really look like Superman under this lighting. I've got some Interstellar, and then there is Kryptonite. And then, as I said, I've got a couple of strange redactors which I've not seen before, and then just the uranians which have come off the tiles or the plugs. There is also one St. Thomas, which you can just see there next to the tile, but it's really, really dark at the moment, so you can't see it very well. But yeah, that's it for Discosoma. So let me go back and grab some SPS corals. Right, now this is my second run of the day, so same as usual. I fill up the jugs of the water from the tank that they're going to go into. This sink is the best thing about this build, probably, other than maybe the protein skimmer. So what I do is fill up these with the required amount of water, and then it's exactly the same as before, where the corals get dipped in 2 different solutions. Firstly, Coral RX, and then I use this turkey baster. It's always the red one. The red one is the one I use for anything to do with dipping. And then I have black ones for feeding, and I've got one feeding one for each of these systems, because it's to avoid cross-contamination or accidentally, potentially the food absorbing some sort of coral dip. I'm sure it will be fine, but it's better to be safe than sorry. And then I just move each colony over one at a time. These have been in here for about half an hour, so they've had a chance to slime up a little bit. And then I just move them over one at a time. This one actually had to cut down to fit in the... it's too big, so what I'm going to do is actually put it upside down. It'll be okay upside down for a short period of time. But you can see obviously what it started as. It started, look at all those, look at all the little copepods running around. But yeah, you can see obviously originally the piece was just attached to this, and then over the years you can see how huge it's grown. So what I will end up doing is cutting this down. Oh, it's still too big. Right, so I add a little bit more water and more coral dip. You can see that because this colony got so big, I had to like literally cut chunks off of it as it was going in. So I'll put all these in here. And then I bought a few other different types of Monties as well. What I'm doing is testing. These are only a tiny portion of the amount that I have. So what I do, each new species that goes into the Mega Build gets tested. So this is the Paloensis, for example, for a little bit. And then, assuming they do okay, I've got a couple of other pieces of Paloensis here as well. But assuming they do okay, I'll then move over a much larger quantity, because as I said, there's no rush for me. Now with Montipora, it's actually the underside which is the most important. So what I do is I leave them face up for 5 minutes just to let the coral dip work its magic, and then I like to turn them over and then dislodge anything I can with the turkey baster. Now the other thing I do before this goes into the Mega Build, or any of my systems, all the frag plugs and any dead patches will be removed, because this is where the any critters or pests like to hide. So you see this bit here, that bit will not be going into the system. I'll cut round it. And it's, as I said, it's the same with all of these. So all of these plugs will be removed and they will be put onto new plugs. And I just continually do this every minute. Montipora, it says on the coral dip to only dip them for 12 minutes, but I like to dip them for a little bit longer. Usually about 15 minutes I do for Montipora. You can see that all these Monties are all in there together. I wouldn't do this with all different types of corals. The only reason I dip them together is because they are all Monties. So I just pour the old water away down here. Every so often I go through and remove any dead pieces of coral. And then what I need to do is fill them up for the next bath. I won't show you the next bath because there's not a lot of point, but after that I then just fill them up with this and then leave them in clean water for a little while, and then just to give them a little rest, and then start to cut them up. Right, now what you see here is the end process of what will go into the Mega Build. So this is what it looks like when all the pieces are cut up, and then these are the pieces which didn't make the cut. No pun intended. I wonder, you might go, oh, some of these look like healthy pieces, why are they not in there? Anything which if I couldn't get it off the plug easily and there's something strange, not strange, this is only fan worms, but anything that's growing on it, I've got so much of these corals, more than I'll probably ever be able to sell. So it's, as I said, all I need to do is just pick up a piece, and as you can see, there's no dead skeleton on it anywhere, and that's because that's the safest way to try and make sure that no pests of anything get into the system. These have all come from my main system, even though it's come from that system, so it's essentially been quarantined for, well, years. Well, not years, because I can't remember the last time I got coral and put it in there. But it's just good practice. It's good practice to do every piece gets treated exactly the same way, and that way I know that I'm doing everything I can to avoid pests going in the system, because pests are one of the #1 reasons which people get out of this hobby. Because anything like Montipora eating nudibranchs, or Aptasia, or anything like that, it ruins people's time in the hobby. So I'm doing everything in my power to make sure those systems don't get any pests in them. And every single coral that goes in there will go through this process. Obviously, I can't guarantee that no pest will ever get in there and that all my corals will always be pest-free. But as you can see, I'm absolutely ruthless when it comes to what does and doesn't go in there. And just because that piece there could easily be sold to someone, if I tied it up a little bit, it doesn't matter. I'd rather enjoy the system. This system is so easy to run at the moment. As you can see, I got the Radions on for the first time, but the system is so easy to run. And the biggest thing that would affect my enjoyment is if I have to start tackling pests. And then this is what happens to next. So what I've done is I've put them all in the bottom tray for now, because these lights are set for soft coral, so they're slightly lower than the ones at the top. I don't want to shock them. Giving corals too much light initially is far worse than not giving them enough, so I like to err on the side of caution. But these pieces obviously are just in here to settle and will eventually be fragged down into smaller sizes. And then I've got a few frags here, which I've just thrown onto the floor, which I'll probably put onto frag plugs in a minute, but I wanted to get this video sorted first. As you can see, I have got some Hisuta, some Dragon Rider Montipora, there's some LA Laker Montipora. This looks like just a normal red Monty, but it's actually, it has a special name, I can't remember what it is at the moment. It's got gold polyps, it's Sun something I think. I'd have to look into it. This one's not looking too great at the moment. This is the Ice Dragon, which is green with blue polyps. I got some grafted Montipora, which came from the Netherlands originally. This came from one of my followers, a guy called Josh Powell. He gave me this piece. It was much smaller, and obviously I've grown it on since. And then I've got some more of the Ice Dragon, which appears to have taken it the fragging and dipping process the harshest. And then obviously these are some green Paloensis. It's similar to Appleberry, but it doesn't have blue polyps, it's got green polyps instead. And then what I've done over here, there's some, there was a couple of pieces of Leptoceris, which I brought over as well, which you didn't see earlier, which I've microfragged them, because with Leptoceris, I found that pretty much every tiny piece grows into a new one. So I thought I'd put that to the test, and again I got loads of it anyway, so it didn't make that much difference. And then let's see if there's anything. I'll show you the green star polyps again. I know it's not exciting for you guys, but as I said, I've got a newfound appreciation for them, and you can see they're like really bright. And I'll leave you with the uranium. The uraniums have done so well this weekend. I think I've sold 3 of them so far. I'm glad I've got a few more in the Red Sea tank. I've got about another 4 or 5 in the Red Sea tank. So if this is a coral you're interested in, then definitely I'll get in there soon, because once they're gone, I suppose. But I will be keeping several for myself to frag up. But as I said, these were far more popular than I expected them to be. And then and that's it. I've got another random Montipora here, which I can't remember what is called again. But I write all the names down. I buy corals because I like the look of them, rather than because they got some sort of fancy name. So I write the names down, and then so I've always got something to refer back to, but I don't always remember from memory. And yeah, I guess that's it for here. Right, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching my video. Please feel free to comment below if you have any questions. If you did enjoy it, why not click that like and subscribe button? It does make a massive difference. Every time I ask people to subscribe and like, it seems to get like 800 likes, and if I don't ask, I usually get like 400. So it seems to be a big difference reminding people. And also just want to say a massive thank you to the people that support me on Patreon. I am going to be doing something for the people who support me on Patreon with the website. So I'm not quite sure what to do yet, but it's probably I'll probably give a permanent discount code to all the people on Patreon. So if there's corals that you like of mine that you might not want now, but in the future you'll want, then it's worth signing up, because I'll definitely get that sorted sooner rather than later. But yeah, and then you'd have to wait for me to throw out random ones to or compete with other people to get to them first. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching my video. Please feel free. Oh no, just done that bit on like autopilot. So yeah, so have a good week, and I will see you next time.